Prophet said, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, every prophet of Allah has warned his people about Dajjal. But I'm going to tell you something about him which none has said before me. Dajjal sees with his left eye. He is blind in the right eye. It looks like a bulging grape. But your Lord is not one-eyed. Between Dajjal's eyes on his forehead is written kafir, kafara. And every mu'min, that is, every believer whose Islam has entered into his heart, and so it has become Iman. Every mu'min will be able to read and recognize kafir. Whether that mu'min is katib, he can read and write, or ghayru katib, he cannot read, he cannot write, he'll still be able to read. This is by far the most important hadith on Dajjal, since this information was saved until the very last. No more prophets after Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. What is the implication? If the mu'min can read, it means that Abu Lahab can't read. Huh? But Abu Lahab has a pair of eyes. How come he can't read? But Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu could read. Is it that Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu isn't reading with these eyes? Do we have any other eyes beside these eyes? The University of Singapore says no. United Nations says no. Governments around the world say no. We have no other eyes beside these eyes. We have no other ears beside these ears. We have no other means of acquiring knowledge other than through the senses, through observation, and through the rational faculty. But the Quran says, yes, in addition to these eyes, we have internal eyes. In addition to these ears, we have internal ears. In addition to our external faculties for acquiring knowledge, we can also acquire knowledge internally. For example, in Surah Al-Hajj, now if you want to teach this subject, make sure you memorize. Brother Imran is not going to be here forever. You have to teach the subject when he's gone. So memorize. Surah Al-Hajj. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses the people who, like Uncle Sam, internally dead. And he says, أَفَلَمْ يَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, will they not travel through the earth? فَتَكُونَ لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ يَعْقِلُونَ بِهَا, so that perchance, by traveling through the earth, the dead heart might come alive. PhD from Harvard, yes, but the heart is dead. The heart is dead. Multimillionaire with a dozen Mercedes-Benz, yes, but the heart is dead. Travel through the earth and see the signs of Allah on the earth. And perchance by seeing the signs of Allah, your dead heart might come alive. فَتَكُونَ لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ يَعْقِلُونَ بِهَا. And when the dead heart comes alive, then the heart can understand what the intellect and reason could never understand. أَوْ آذَانٌ يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا. When the heart comes alive, the heart can hear what otherwise could not be heard. فَإِنَّهَا لَا تَعْمَى الْأَبْصَارِ. Truly, it's not these eyes which are blind. وَلَكِنْ تَعْمَى الْقُلُوبُ الَّتِي فِي الصُّدُورِ. What is blind is the heart, which is inside the chest. And so the heart can see. And so in addition to this eye, we also have this eye. Now it is possible for us to understand the hadith. Dajjal sees with one eye, his left eye. The left eye symbolizes his external capacity for sight. Dajjal is blind in the right eye, indicating that Dajjal is internally blind. And therefore that all those who follow Dajjal will all be internally blind. What is the price that we pay if we are internally blind? PhD from University of Singapore, but inside, blind. What is the price that we pay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declares that huge numbers of people are condemned for the hellfire. What did they do that they are condemned for the hellfire? لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ بِهَا وَلَهُمْ أَعْيُنٌ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ بِهَا وَلَهُمْ آذَانٌ لَا يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا. They have eyes, but they cannot see. They have ears, but they cannot hear. They have hearts, but they cannot understand. A people who are internally blind are a people who in the age of Dajjal are destined for the hellfire. How does Allah describe such a people? He says, أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ. They're just like cattle. What? With a PhD from MIT? Yes. Yes. Just like cattle. أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ. Rather, they're more misguided than cattle. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْغَافِلُونَ. These are the ones who are truly heedless of the signs of Allah. This is our introduction to spirituality in Islam. Spirituality is the path through which the heart comes alive. And when the heart comes alive, then the heart can see and the heart can hear and the heart can understand what rationality can never penetrate. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down Suratul Kahfi in the Quran, surah number 18, the cave. And the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam identified this surah as the only surah in the Quran which protects from Dajjal. Recite the first 10 ayat of Suratul Kahfi over Dajjal and he won't be able to harm you. But he said something else about Suratul Kahfi. You know, these eyes can't see unless there is light. Similarly, this eye cannot see without nur. Can't buy that nur in the stock market. No. Where does the nur come from? Allahu nurus samawati wal ard. Allah encompasses the totality of the nur in the heavens and the earth. You cannot get nur other than from Allah. Not even from the Security Council of the UN. You can't get nur. Only from Allah. So if we are to be protected from Dajjal, and therefore to be able to see with the internal eye, because he does not see with the internal eye, we need nur. He said, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, recite Suratul Kahfi on a Friday, and it will deliver to you nur from the heavens to the earth. And that nur will stay with you until the next Friday. So now I'm going to ask you to raise your hands. Let me see how many people have recited Suratul Kahfi last Friday. What happened to your hands? Something wrong? Huh? Shall I come back to lecture in this masjid? This is the dearest masjid in Singapore for me. 14 years ago when I came to Singapore for the first time, I came as a guest of this masjid. I lectured here in this masjid for the first time. I slept in a room at the back there. Most of those who were with me at that time have all passed away, but Haji Abdul Majid is still here, alhamdulillah. So this masjid is the dearest of all. It is named after Maulana Abdul Alim Siddiqui. Do you know who he was? My teacher, my Sheikh, my Murshid, was Maulana Dr. Muhammad Fadlur Rahman Ansari, rahimahullah, whose masterpiece, the 2 volumes, The Quranic Foundations and Structure of Muslim Society, is now available. I don't know if there are any copies still left outside. His teacher, his Sheikh, his Murshid, was Maulana Abdul Alim Siddiqui, rahimahullah. So I'm the second generation from him. The link between me and him. So next time I come, I want to see your hands raised. That you are now reciting Suratul Kahfi every Friday without fail. Inshallah. In Suratul Kahfi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us wonderful instruction on the subject of the consequences of not having the capacity to see with the internal eye. He takes Musa alayhi salam, the Nabi who was sent to Banu Israel, who say that they are the chosen people of Allah.